Hello, my name is Jonathan Romeo, and I'm the market manager for hip arthroscopy at Smith+Nephew. Today we're going to be walking through the Smith+Nephew hip positioning system and its proper configuration and setup. The purpose of the video is to enable you to properly set up and configure the hip positioning system to ensure proper performance and to meet the needs of the OR. First thing I'd like to do is review the components of the supine hip positioning system. From left to right, the first component is the universal hip distractor with boot. Next on the list is the knee holder. This is followed by the supine table extension and its associated clamps. Next on the list is the perineal post. Next is the well leg holder with boot. And the final component is the patient transfer board. The first step in setting up the supine hip positioning system is to attach the necessary rail clamps. In order to do this, with the knob of the rail clamp on the outside, align the rail of the bed with the inner slot of the clamp. Repeat as necessary on the other side. The next step in assembling the supine hip positioning system is to attach the supine table extension. Before doing so, make sure the rail clamps are loose in order to ensure proper attachment. Slide the rails of the supine table extension along the outside of the OR table rails and in line with the outer channel of the rail clamps. It may be helpful to use your hip or leg for support while doing this step. Slide the rail clamps into place and tighten accordingly. Be sure to leave a slight table extension rail exposed when tightening the rail clamps. After attaching the table extension, the next step is to double check whether it is a right or left hip that is being operated on. The hole that fits the perineal post should be on the operative side. If the hole is on the wrong side, undo the Velcro as shown. Flip over the pad and reattach the Velcro so the hole is on the appropriate side. The next step is to attach the non-operative or well leg to the hip positioning system. In order to do this, with the boot facing up, slide the larger end of the well leg into the slot on the non-operative side of the table extension. In order to tighten this, rotate the orange knob underneath clockwise until tight. In order to adjust the location of the boot, loosen the knob, slide to the desired location, and retighten. We will now attach the universal hip distractor with boot. In order to do this, with the boot facing up, insert the ball joint side of the hip distractor into the slot on the operative side of the table extension. In order to tighten, rotate the knob clockwise until tight. Once you are sure the distractor leg is properly and securely attached, you can reposition the leg to meet OR needs. To reposition, turn the orange handle clockwise. Move the leg to the desired location and release the handle. The component that the boot is attached to is known as the carriage. It is important to know that in order to slide the carriage up and down the distractor leg, you must loosen this orange knob, adjust the carriage to where you would like it, and retighten. Another control on the carriage is to adjust minor traction. When setting up the carriage, it is recommended that minor traction be set at its lowest point. In order to do this, rotate the knob counterclockwise until you hit a hard stop. The last control on the carriage that you should know about is to control foot rotation. In order to adjust foot rotation, loosen the knob, adjust the foot position to where you would like it, and retighten. It is recommended when setting up the distractor to leave foot location at a neutral position. The next step will be to attach the knee holder. In order to attach the knee holder, pull the release button on the bracket for the knee holder, swing the bracket around to face this direction. Take the knee holder, insert the two posts into the holes, and press the two designated buttons and firmly engage the posts into the bracket. Next step we will demonstrate is the attachment of the perineal post. In order to attach the post, take the open end of the post, slide it down through the designated hole onto the appropriate cradle. At this time, you will take the disposable pad and place the pad on top of the perineal post. Be sure the pad is flush with the bottom of the post. The last step in the setup of the supine hip positioning system is to attach the optional patient transfer board. To attach the board, simply insert the post of the board into the designated slot right next to the perineal post. Push the board in until you reach a firm stopping point. Although optional and not included in the positioning system, this is a nice option for assisting in the positioning of a patient. It is to be removed immediately after the patient is asleep.
As we move on to the lateral hip positioning system, we can see that there are fewer components involved. The first of these components, from left to right, is a universal hip distractor with boot. The second component is the lateral table attachment with perineal post pad and its associated clamps.
First step in assembling the lateral hip positioning system is to attach the rail clamps. In order to do this, align the rail on the OR table with the slot on the clamp itself. Slide the clamp onto the rail and down the rail to the desired position. Leave loose and repeat on the other side. The next step in the process for assembling the lateral hip positioning system, once the rail clamps are in the desired location, is to insert the pad itself. To do this, align the post of the pad with the hole on the clamp and insert slowly until in position. Once in position, tighten the clamp as necessary and repeat on the other side. After successfully assembling the lateral table attachment, the next step will be to insert the distractor leg. To do so, take the ball joint end of the distractor and insert it into the slot. Then tighten the distractor leg by rotating the orange knob clockwise. In addition, you'll want to rotate the boot to be parallel to the floor. I will now demonstrate how to properly load the storage cart to hold your hip positioning system. First, we'll start with the rail clamps, which slide onto the pre-made rails on the cart itself on either side. We will then take the optional patient transfer board, which just slides right in the back in the predetermined slot. For the well leg holder, we'll slide this down and put it into one of the pre-made holes, with the boot hanging off of the back. For the distractor leg, this will go in the other hole in the bottom of the cart, with the boot hanging off of the back. The perineal post will go in the middle hole at the bottom of the cart and slide right in. And the table extension will go on the top of the cart, like so. So that's it for the supine system. If you have the lateral system, the table extension will come off. Lateral pad will go on instead. And two lateral rail clamps will slide on, just as with the supine system. When using the hip positioning system, the situation may arise where you need to replace either the straps or the boot in the straps. In order to do this, there are a few simple steps to follow. First of which is to analyze the contents of the replacement package. First, you'll see that you have one long strap, two short straps, a pad, and the boot itself. in order to prepare for putting the boot onto the distractor, the first step you will take is to take one short strap, take the short end of the Velcro, take one of the D-ring loops, loop it through, and fold it over itself. The next step is to take the pad and take the long Velcro strip, take the non-loop side of the long Velcro strip, slide the pad on, the Velcro facing up, and press firmly into place. You are now ready to put on the boot. The next step in replacing the boot in the straps is to place the new boot onto the foot plate as shown here. Use the large strap fixed to the bottom of the boot, slide it over the foot plate and down until it bottoms out. At the bottom of the boot you'll see straps attached to each side, one with D-rings, one without. You're going to put each strap through the slot as shown here. You're going to take these two straps and feed the loose strap through the D-rings, then back through the middle of the D-rings and cinch down. Your boot is now secure on the foot plate. Next step is you're going to take the long strap of Velcro with the pad already attached that in the step you did before. Take the Velcro strip end, feed through the slot from the bottom right, and fold over itself. That strap is now in place. Then you'll take the last short strap, the short strip of Velcro, feed it through the top right slot, fold it over itself, and that strip is now in place. You're now ready to go. Thank you for watching the Smith+Nephew hip positioning system setup video. Hopefully you now have a better understanding of the steps necessary to properly set up the device.